We should use the clapperboard over there, because someone actually said the other day, they said, you can't afford a clapperboard. Yeah. Can't be asked to reach over there and get it. Anyway.
Here we are. So tell the viewing several what we are reviewing today, Sean.
Today, Dan, we are going to look at the APU Loudness Compressor.
I wonder, is it?
Yeah, that nearly went then.
Little break in the old voice there.
Too much shouting shit in the shed.
Yeah, one day your balls will drop.
Not any further.
No.
I'll be
They
tripping over.
do, suddenly, yeah. Almost up your knees now.
In my shoes. Ow! What was I just treading on? Those my own balls.
My own nuts, yeah. Okay, so
Jesus.
take us through the features of the APU Loudness Compressor.
First of all, I must mention thank you to APU. They contacted us out of the blue and said, would you like to have a look, and sent us their compressor, which I've been playing with this week. So it's kind of...
Not your balls.
Not my balls. No time for that anymore.
No.
Just compressors. Slightly different to most compressors. This works on loudness. So basically it's using Lufs. Now, we've had RMS compressors before. This is the first time I think I've seen a compressor that works on Lufs. So basically it measures loudness over time, and you set that time. So you can set it a momentary Lufs or integrated Lufs. And you can even click on the interface and tell it how much time you want it to sample the audio for to react to, which is kind of interesting. That's not a normal thing. Anyway, let's look at the interface. It looks kind of different for a compressor. You can see this massive display of the pre and post compression waveform. You have your slider on the left there, which is your threshold, and then the meter on the right, the little yellow line at the top, is the amount of compression you're getting, and obviously there's your VU meter at the bottom. So let's start bottom left. You've got the attack control. So on the left is the attack time, and then slightly to the right of that is basically it's like a pause control. How long to wait until that attack starts to happen. So yeah, I know, right? So instead of just I'll set the attack there, so I've got, I don't know, 10 milliseconds before it kicks in, you could set 20 milliseconds before the 10 milliseconds starts. Whatever. It's just more control. Same for the release. And you've then got all the same controls
it's like
you would
an
normally
opposite to a
have.
look ahead.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's like
wait till after.
Wait to compress.
Yes.
Talking of look ahead, you've got that here, and obviously because it's it's a completely digital thing, you can have your look ahead as long as you like and give the compressor plenty of time to get used to the fact that it's going to be compressing. And then you can set the size of the knee, the dry wet control when you've got your output. Over the top right here, you've got the ratio, and you've also got your Lufs. So you basically set the range. I guess that's what you're doing.
Is that a mastering sort of thing, really, if you've got a Lufs on it?
It kind of makes more sense for that. And it sounds good in that situation. I was testing it as a mastering compressor really a lot of the time. Yeah, you can do some really sort of nice things with it. You can really make it grab. I quite liked it on the drum bus. It did some really interesting stuff.
It's a bit weird having the... Sorry.
No, go on.
A bit weird having the ratio up there when the rest of the controls are down here as well, isn't it?
It's an odd layout generally. Yeah, I think it is an odd layout. I got used to it quite quick, but it is an odd layout. So yeah, you might notice you've got some other tabs up the top here. So you can flick it into the limiter, and then you've got a limiter screen where completely separately you have a limiter where again you can set that how you want it to work. I forgot to mention on the compressor you can set it to work in Lufs, the different momentary integrated whatever, but you can also set it to work in RMS or any other normal way that you would trigger a compressor. So it will do a bunch of different ways, which is quite interesting. There's a side chain as you would expect, but yeah, between the limiter and the compressor together you can get a pretty good mastering setup with this. It sounds pretty decent, I think. I do think it's got a couple of issues. I did notice it being a little bit buggy here and there. I couldn't get it to repeat issues, but I did notice a couple of issues here and there. I don't know if that might be specific to my system. That's always possible. But yeah, it's just interesting. You can change the colour scheme up. You can make it look like whatever you want. You can change the size of this, that and the other. There's a visualization page. It's kind of weird. It's quite detailed. You can do some really interesting things. In fact, Dan Worrell looked at it a little while ago, and you know what Dan's like. He goes into things in like microscopic detail. So if you want to know more about it, I'd recommend to go and watch his video. He really dug deep into this. But I would just say it's a great sounding compressor. I would definitely, I think I'm going to keep it as a definite, when I'm mastering, sometimes you need to try a couple of different compressors, and this might be one.
So compared to the sort of tone boosters,
it's a similar thing.
is it?
Yeah, it's a similar thing. I think it's a slightly less clear interface. It's very different. I kind of don't mind it. But once I got it dialed in and it sounded good to me, it was quite easy to tweak it, and I could totally see it being something that I reach for when I'm mastering.
So where do you get it from? APU.
So APU, yeah, if you just Google APU loudness compressor, it comes up. There's a few different options. So first of all, I should say the demo is 10 days, which is, that's decent. So you can buy just the compressor, $30.
Okay.
Which is...
Yeah, not bad.
That's a steal, right? If you add the limiter, then it's $45 total. And you can add other stuff. It's a bit of a weird way of working, but I don't mind it.
Well, it's an original way of working.
It is an original way of working. And prices like that you can't really argue with. So, interesting.
No?
No what?
Okay. Well, so Sean, is it shit?
No, I don't think it's shit. I think it's one of those... Once you've got all your flavours of compression that you think you need to have, this is probably an interesting one to have. It might be great on a drum bus, might be great for mastering. It's also really interesting. If you're having problems compressing something, this will give you way amounts of scope to compress it, maybe without the artifacts that you don't like. So I think it's one of those. It's an interesting style of compressor. Okay, so that was something I'm just going to mention while we're talking about compressors. Yeah,
right.
About that. While we're talking about compression, right now Universal Audio are giving away their 1176.
Ah,
yeah. So I was just going to say,
I thought that. Never mind.
Sort of unrelated. It's just also a compressor. It doesn't warrant a whole episode. But the Universal Audio 1176 plugin is one of the better ones. It sounds pretty fantastic, and there's an opportunity to go and grab it for free. So I would recommend you do that.
Very, very cool. But before you do, what should they do, Sean?
You should definitely like the video, maybe subscribe to the channel, or become a channel member.
You should check out our Instagram, Studio Life 101. There is also various links to websites, mastering courses, mixing courses.
There's our top 5 plugins.
Top 5 plugins. Yeah, very, very cool.
A whole bunch of stuff. Yeah. There's also our other channel. If you want to watch us talk about stuff that's unrelated to music, there's an option for that down there. And we will see you in the next one.
There you go. Adios.
See you later.